Welcome, Ducky Tradies. We are looking at the precious metals for the end of the day of 15th of January, at least the end of the day in Australia, where everything has continued its climb. It's pretty easy to see why. The US dollar is absolutely pitiful at the moment. Very little support for that. Looking against the euro, against the CAD, it's having a terrible time against everything. And then on top of that, you've got the usual safe haven assets of gold and silver, and then you've got the tight supply of palladium. We've increased demand from the automotive sector, which is then rising up platinum. So across the sort of four metals that I watch at the moment, there's some good rallies, and I don't think it's over. There's still money to be made on the upside, but some potential quick shorts as well. So let's have a look at it and see what we can come up with here. The first one I want to look at here is the palladium, and that's a continued supply issue, where basically huge supply deficit compared to demand. Now, the RSI though is getting quite high. It's just under 80 at the moment. I'm going to see if that does hit over the 80 mark for RSI. If it does that, I'll be looking at a quick short. I'm very careful about shorting such a bull market as this, but that price, I mean, it's getting up around that. It's over 1100. It's a record high for palladium. So certainly looking at a short, or if you're a bit more risk adverse, let it come down a little bit. If it does come back down to 1100 with some profit taking, that is a definite buy for me. The thing is, there's nothing quick that's going to fix this issue. The demand's going to continue for the automotive sector, even if they start substituting palladium with platinum and the other members of the family. The overall demand for the catalytic converter is going to continue. So it's not something that's going to be fixed quickly. And from the supply end, it's not like they can just put on a palladium mine like that. Russia and South Africa, or Africa, sorry, control I think about 80% or more of the total palladium market. So this is not an overnight change. The only thing that could potentially, give a bit of a hiccup is if it just reaches a point where traders believe that it's reached its absolute limit. But I mean, I don't see that at the moment. So at the moment, it's 1136. Not shorting at the moment, seeing that the RSI gets over 80, maybe even as high as 85, and looking at a short for that. If I did that though, it would be a quick short, only a few pips down, and profit on that one. But as you can see overall, the palladium's had on the 4 hour, just as a massive rally at the moment, not going to abate. And then because of that, that's dragged platinum up. Now, if you're listening to me at the end of last year, when platinum was down below the 900 mark, I said that was just a ridiculous price. At that point, palladium was over $1,000, and the gap between them two was some multi-year, quite a big gap between them. That's closed now, so platinum's back up to 1,000, but with palladium at 1,100, I would still expect platinum to be brought up a bit more by palladium, and on top of that, the demand for platinum is going to increase if palladium keeps these higher levels and they start looking at substituting it. But again, it's going to depend on the price difference between platinum and palladium. At the moment though, platinum is sitting almost 80 RSI, but I just wouldn't short it. I'd really want platinum to maybe have a bit more of a boost up, and even then I'd be very careful, because it's quite obvious on a long trajectory there. So whether you again wait for it to come off a bit before putting a position, it's really depends on your equity and your risk management. For me, I'll probably wait for it to come back a bit more. And then on gold, and gold's, between being safe haven, January and February are normally gold premium months anyway. Add on to that the issue with the US dollar, and you've just got a perfect storm there to just keep going up. That said though, I'd be interested to see if it gets towards that $1,400 mark. Whether the profit takers were set in. We say look at RSI, but here's a good example here. The RSI at one stage was 87, and if you look at that price then, it was around the 1317 mark. It only came back down a bit more sort of sideways, and now it's come for another rally. So even the RSI, you just got to be careful. Just because it's high doesn't mean it's going to suddenly drop down. It might just come down a little bit, just hang in a sideways pattern for a little bit like it's done here, and then continue its upward trajectory. If you're looking at shorting gold, I'd be careful. Maybe if it rockets up to 1350, 1360, but again, I wouldn't be shorting it too long. And this is not something that's going to be changed overnight. We're definitely in a bull market for gold, and that's going to continue. And then like palladium pulling up platinum, you've also got gold just pulling up silver as well. So silver's having quite a good time from this massive sort of dump here. So really clearly silver is just riding the coattails of gold at the moment. Keep in mind too that if there is any geopolitical issues that could force gold up even more, and don't forget the thing with palladium and platinum, they are a bit more of a safe haven asset. I noticed that especially last year, that when silver and gold are rallying, there was a fair bit of money going into platinum and palladium as well. So it's definitely not as hedged as gold against the US dollar, but definitely noticed it. And that's one thing I want to be careful with all of these at the moment, is that I think once the US dollar gets back into buying, which will happen at some point, and starts increasing in value, there could be a quick drop off for this. So as much as I'm saying, if you do short it, be careful. At the same time, if you are longing it, I wouldn't be waiting for any massive increase on that one.